The site is Hersey High School in Arlington Heights, home of the Hersey Huskies, the Mid-Suburban League champions for this year, as tonight Channel 13 Sports presents the regional championship as the Conant Cougars 15-11 take on the Hersey Huskies at 22-4. Along with my partner Dan Richmond, I am Lee Anderson, welcoming you to Hersey High School, the home of the Huskies, for tonight's regional final. Dan, these two teams are certainly no strangers to each other. They exemplify the success both in the South and the North, as each of these schools have won 3 of 4 conference titles in the past 4 years. We saw the Conant Cougars in week 2 of our regular season. What do we expect to see tonight from Tom McCormick's club?
One thing about Tom McCormick's club, Lee, they are extremely well coached. This is a guy that has that 3x5 note card of all the players on both teams at his disposal at all times. We're going to see full court pressure. We're going to see strong guard play, especially by Dave Dubois, who had a great season, and he had a very good game in a game that we saw in week 2 of the season.
On the other side, the Hersey Huskies, both teams really got a scare. Conant winning 48-45 on Wednesday night, and also on Wednesday night, Hersey here had to struggle to beat 15th seed Barrington only by 5, 51-46. Hersey, the Mid-Suburban League champions, they have 22 wins this year. Don Raleigh in his 6th season has done an excellent job with the team out of the Mid-Suburban League North. They, in a lot of ways, mirror the Conant Cougars, don't they?
They sure do. They're another team that likes to pick up the pace. They'll pressure you full court. But Coach Don Raleigh's team, Lee, as you said earlier, they had a tremendous scare just a couple nights ago against the 15th-seeded Barrington Broncos. And let me tell you something. I think that puts some wake in this team for tonight, meaning wake up and let's get going.
It should be an exciting contest. On January 7th, here at this same school, Hersey was a 6-point victor over Conant. The final score was 68-62. We'll have the starting lineups and then the opening tip-off for the right to go to the sectional semifinals next week at Buffalo Grove. It's Hersey and Conant coming up next on Channel 13. Stay tuned.
Chicago Pizza Authority is not just another pizza place. Located in Palatine on Baldwin Road, Chicago Pizza Authority offers an all-you-can-eat lunch buffet served from 11 a.m. till 2 p.m. Monday through Friday, and a dinner buffet from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. 7 days a week. The buffet includes pizzas made with all your favorite toppings, hot homemade soups, a salad bar with the freshest cut vegetables, and a mouth-watering hot buffet with barbecue pork chops, chicken, and a variety of other pastas. So call the Chicago Pizza Authority at 358-8811.
On Hometown Edition, we've covered skydivers in Palatine, sculptors in Elk Grove Village, and puppets in Rolling Meadows. But we're still looking for you. If you have a good story idea, drop us a line at Hometown Edition, 1575 Rowling Road, Rolling Meadows, Illinois, 60008. And who knows, we might just send out a camera crew and feature you on the next Hometown Edition. Just like fire trucks in Buffalo Grove and Greyhounds in Hoffman Estates. The best way to find out what's going on in your town is by watching Hometown exclusively on LOTV 13.
Hi, I'm Ron Roscoe.
And I'm Rappin' Jan, and we're from The Tube.
If you're wondering what the heck The Tube is, you're definitely missing out.
The Tube is Chicagoland's only live music video show where you could win every single week.
We give away CDs, cassettes, premium channels, and even concert tickets.
Plus, we play all the chart-topping hits, and we let you decide what's going to be the top 2 requests of the night. What could be more fun?
Nothing as far as I'm concerned, so join us live every Thursday at 8 p.m. for The Tube, live, Continental Cablevision.
We are truly honored to have members of the Palatine Pirate football team. We're going to be talking Rolling Meadows Mustangs wrestling.
Just me and some of the divers from Stevenson High School.
We're going to be talking hockey Friend Viking style. We have one of the monsters of the midday from The Score, Sports Radio 820. We have Mike North.
To keep you up to date on the local sports scene, Sports File gives you the opportunity to talk with the players and coaches making the headlines. Get ready to call into Sports File Live, Mondays at 6.
Along with Dan Richmond, this is Lee Anderson back at Hersey High School in Arlington Heights as we are getting ready for the start of tonight's regional final game with the right to move to the sectional semifinals next Tuesday and Wednesday at Buffalo Grove High School, as they are the sectional complex host this year, for the right then to move to the super sectionals. And it should be an exciting contest tonight, as the Conant Cougars come in with a record of 15-11, Dan, and the Hersey Huskies, we mentioned, they are at 22-4. Conant has had 5 straight 20-plus winning seasons, and they still have that record intact, although they're going to have to do a lot of work. They're going to have to go on downstate, in fact, to get a 20-win season. But they're not worried about that right now. They're just worried to beat these Hersey Huskies tonight.
You've heard that old saying, Lee, you got to take things one game at a time, one day at a time. These Conant Cougars, what they've done has really been remarkable this season. This is a team that went downstate last year. They had a tremendous year and had some tremendous players last season. And what Tom McCormack has done in rebuilding this team, getting them to the level where they're at, I think has been very impressive.
The Hersey Huskies also got a jolt in the arm as their starting center a few weeks ago, Chris Nowinski, as the Conant Cougars once again come back out onto the floor. As you see them, they'll be in their road blue. Their starting center, as far as Hersey goes, Chris Nowinski, he has a stress fracture in his tibia bone, and he will come back tonight and probably play in the second half. He'll probably play about 8 minutes, so we'll see how effective Nowinski will be. He's just a junior. Now the Hersey Huskies come onto the floor, and these two teams, certainly no strangers to each other, as I mentioned in the pregame show. They've each won 3 conference titles in the last 4 years, and they in fact have played each other in the Mid-Suburban League Championship in 2 out of the last 4 years. Last year, Conant winning on this floor, in which Conant had such an outstanding team last year in Rick Kay and Corey Brown. And Rick Kay right now is at Eastern Illinois University, and Corey Brown at New Orleans. Dan, when you look at a game like this, we said in the pregame, I had mentioned that it's really a situation where both these teams in a lot of ways do the same things. They both like to get out on the break. They both like to pressure the ball half court and also full court. And you would have to think in a game like that, it could come down to turnovers and free throw shooting that might win this game.
No doubt about it, and free throw shooting was a key for Hersey just 2 nights ago when they beat Barrington Lee. They sank a couple big free throws to win that game. But you said you think you'll see a lot of half-court pressure. I definitely think it'll be a lot more full-court pressure by both teams. Both teams big-time, man-to-man, 2-2-1 type pressure. You're going to see good transition basketball tonight. And I got to tell you, our eyes better be awake tonight if we want to see a good game, Mr. Anderson.
Taking a look, as you look at a couple of the young fans on your screen, going to be taking part in this regional final game. Tom McCormack with the glasses on your screen.
I don't see the 3x5 no card out yet.
Well, Tom has just done an outstanding job turning this Conant team around. This is his 10th year at the school. Let's take a look at tonight's starting lineups for this regional final game. For the Conant Cougars, their forward is Bill Crutch. The center is Jeremy Roach. They go with a 3-guard offense in Jeff Bergman, Dave Dubois, and Brian Butler. And the head man is Tom McCormack in his 10th year. Dan, why don't you go through the Huskies lineup for us?
For the Hersey Huskies, number 32, Michael White is at 1 forward. The Conference Player of the Year, Paul Wolf, number 42 at the other forward. In the middle of the night, Steve Nelson at 1 guard, who we saw in the 3-point shooting contest just a few minutes ago. Chris Jacobs, and number 40, Brad Bowser's at the other guard, who we also saw in that 3-point shooting contest. And Don Rowley is the head coach in his 6th season.
Don Rowley has also done an outstanding job for the Hersey Huskies, leading them to 2 Mid-Suburban League championships in the last 4 years and 3 overall Mid-Suburban League North titles. Both these two teams, the teams you really can look up to, I guess you can say, in both respective conferences, in the Mid-Suburban League North and the Mid-Suburban League South. There's going to be a special ceremony now as the Hersey Huskies will be introduced in black, a la the Chicago Bulls. Let's watch. there you saw it, the starting lineup for the Hersey Huskies. They are at 22-4, and once again the Conant Cougars are at 15-11. Taking a look at the first games of the regional semifinals, on Tuesday Schaumburg was victorious over Streamwood 56-32. Palatine got by Fremd 44-35, and the biggest upset in this complex so far, Wheeling got by Hoffman Estates 48-46 in overtime. Elgin Larkin over Elk Grove 69-46. We should mention on Monday, Streamwood got by Prospect 66-51 to set up that game in which they lost to Schaumburg. On Wednesday, Hersey was over Barrington 51-46. Conant got by Buffalo Grove 48-45. Elgin over Rolling Meadows by 5, 60-55. And Edison Trail over Lake Park 62-56. We'll set the other three games in this sectional complex coming up shortly. Hersey in the home white. They wore their orange uniforms here at home the other night, but they're in white tonight with orange numbers. Hersey fans opposite us, where we're broadcasting from, most of them are on their feet. Conant will be in the road blue. Conant will be going from right to left, and conversely, in the first half, Hersey from left to right. Jeremy Roach will be jumping up with Michael White. White, the only junior in the starting lineup for the Huskies. This is for the right to go to Buffalo Grove next Wednesday night. Roach gets the tip as Conant gets first crack at it. Hersey opening up in a man-to-man. Crowd chanting defense. Dave Dubois lost it off his hands out of bounds for the first turnover of the game.
Lee, you can really feel the excitement here tonight. We have a great crowd on hand. Obviously, it's a home crowd with the game being at Hersey, but a great crowd, and Conant starting out, picking up the pace with full court pressure.
Conant in a trapping defense. Wolf shot. He gets the roll for the first bucket of the game. 2-0 Huskies. Here's Bergman on the drive. It's partially blocked, and here comes Jacobs the other way for the Huskies as they lead 2-0. Bauscher with the fake. Three-pointer by White. Off the rim twice, no good, and it's out of bounds off of Wolf, and that'll give it back to the Cougars with 7:16 remaining in the opening quarter.
So far, straight man-to-man by Hersey. No real pressure yet, but you'll see that pressure come on as the game in the quarter progresses.
2-0 Huskies. We've played nearly a minute in this regional championship game here at Hersey High School between the Cougars and the Huskies. Back door to Bergman. It's out of bounds, and it's touched last by Brad Bauscher. Bauscher, by the way, this is his first year at Hersey. He's a transfer from St. Viator. And by the way, St. Viator is at Leiden tonight. That's his old team. Conant with the ball, trailing by a deuce, 2-0, early in the first quarter. Dubois with the ball. He's averaging about 13 a game, as is Crutch. They're the two leading scorers for the Cougars this year. Back door to Crutch. I think we're going to get a tripping foul. It's going to be against Wolf, first foul of the game.
Wolf's leg accidentally hit Crutch from behind there. I don't even think that Wolf realized that he tripped him. Here it is on replay, Lee. You saw Wolf's leg just back into Crutch.
Wolf's leg in the wrong place at the wrong time.
And I'm sure Wolf was saying, hey, no harm, no foul.
Yeah, that's what they all say. Jeremy Roach, left baseline, inches his way in for the layup from the left side, and we're tied at 2.
Lee, as we saw with Roach earlier this season, he is deceptively quick.
We were going to get a blocking foul on Roach, but that could have gone either way, Dan.
Definitely it could have. I thought Roach was set, but obviously the official disagreed.
We got a couple of heavy hitters next to us tonight. We got my dad here for the first night this year, Bob Anderson. Also,
we got the real heavy.
We got Phil Brzezinski, a guy you had on Sportsville this past Monday. I guess he was right about Hoffman possibly going down.
Oh, he sure was. I told Phil I liked everything I saw about Hoffman.
Three-pointer is drilled good from the top of the key by Bauscher.
Bauscher hit 5 threes in a row, Lee, from that very spot in the three-point shoot-off earlier this evening.
5-2 Huskies. Dubois Nearly walked. Now he double dribbles the ball. Another turnover on Conant. In addition to tonight's game, Palatine is at Schaumburg, Wheeling at Elgin Larkin, and Addison Trail is at Elgin. The winner of this game will take on the winner of Addison Trail and Elgin next Wednesday night at Buffalo Grove High School.
Nice pass, Lee.
Michael White misses the shot. Here comes Dave Dubois on the break for Conant as the Cougars trail by 3, 5-2 with 5:48 remaining in the first quarter.
Michael hesitated before he put that ball up.
Off the glass, Butler no good. Battle for the loose ball, and it's controlled by the Huskies, who try to build on their 3-point lead.
Nice rebound that time by Nelson, the backup center. Steve Nelson, who's starting tonight.
Long three-pointer, way off the mark by Bauscher. Here comes the Cougars once again on the break. Crutch inside, has it rejected by Nelson. Here comes Michael White, one-on-one with Dubois. Shot is good off the glass from the left, and he is a pumped-up young man.
That was an outstanding athletic move that time by Michael White. Michael showed no hesitation that time. He got the ball off the block by Steve Nelson and took the ball right to the hole and got fouled, and he's attempting to make the three-point play.
Hersey now with a 7-point lead. They've scored the last 5 in a row after the game was tied at 2 apiece. Michael White will return next year. I mentioned he's the only junior in the starting lineup for the Huskies, a team that has won 22 out of their 26 games this year. Free throw bounces around, no good. Rebounded on the floor by Jeremy Roach. It remains 7-2 Huskies with 5:10 remaining here in the first quarter. Three-pointer off the back of the rim, no good. And it's rebounded by Chris Jacobs of the Huskies. Both these teams coming off close opening game wins here in the state tournament. Hersey by 5 over Barrington and Conant by 3 over Buffalo Grove. Hersey with the ball and a 5-point lead, 7-2. Hersey, or check that, Conant right now in a 2-3 zone. Jacobs down the lane. Shot, he misses everything, I believe, and it's rebounded by Dubois. Up court pass to Roach. Layup is no good. Battle for the loose ball, and it's out of bounds off of, I believe, Michael White of Hersey.
Lee Roach did not go up strong at all with that ball. As soon as he caught it, he had the easy layup. He probably should have dunked it, but just didn't do anything with it.
Vince Marino is the first substitution. Number 44, a junior guard, in for the Cougars.
Marino's the type of player who will give Conant some spark.
Rob Shader at the next break will check in for Conant. Nice pass to Roach. Nice fake a couple of times, and then he gets the layup from the right side. He's got all 4 of Conant's points.
Conant full court pressure as usual, Lee. And you'll see Coach McCormack with the multiple substitutions. And if we get a shot at the coach, he already has that 3x5 note card in his hand.
Three-pointer from the left side is off the rim, no good by Michael White, rebounded by Bill Crutch. Marino almost traveled, and they get the steal. And all alone for the layup from the left side is Steve Nelson.
Lee, Steve Nelson has been outstanding so far tonight. A block shot, a rebound, a steal, and now a deuce.
Paul Wolf with the steal off the glass, no good. Tip try is no good by White. He gets his own rebound back, fires a pass to Wolf, off the glass, no good. Hersey had 4 tries at it, but couldn't get the deuce.
Couple easy bunnies missed that time by Hersey.
Three-pointer by Crutch off the rim, no good. Roach with the rebound, off the glass, a little too strong, and it's rebounded by Nelson. We're going to get a foul on the Cougars.
Foul's going to be on number 24 for Conant, Bill Crutch. Let's see it on replay. Here's Crutch missing the tray. There's Roach going up for the board, misses the half hook, and then Crutch reaches in and he's called for the personal.
Jeff Bergman re-enters the lineup for Conant. Also checking in for the first time is Rob Shader, number 45. Long pass, right baseline, retrieved by White. He kicks it out to Bauscher.
Lee, Bergman's a player who played outstanding against Hoffman Estates earlier this season. I'm surprised he's not starting.
Nelson off the glass, good from the left side.
That's Steve's second bucket of the early evening. He's been great.
What a great athletic play by Michael White, and now we're going to have a blocking foul on Chris Jacobs.
Lee, there's going to be a blocking foul on Jacobs, as you just mentioned, but I got to tell you, I thought that was an offensive foul. Let's see the great play by Michael White on replay. Goes to Dave Dubois. Maybe Chris did a little too good of a job acting that time.
Well, that looked like you with your athletic ability. Joe Potoknik, a senior guard, number 24, checks in the lineup for the first time for the Huskies. Also, number 22, senior guard Mike Becker, who was the leading scorer in their win over Barrington on Wednesday night off the bench with 10 points, checks in the lineup for the first time for the Huskies tonight.
Becker was the player who hit those key free throws against Barrington in the fourth.
Boy, Hersey really struggled from the line in that game. Here's a steal by Michael White. Nice bounce pass to Wolf for the reverse layup.
Lee, Michael White has been all over the basketball court tonight.
Boy, Hersey looks like they've really picked up their game from their scare against Barrington on Wednesday night. Timeout, Conant, with 2:40 remaining in the first quarter. As the Go Becker shirts are out, the Hersey Huskies lead the Conant Cougars 13-4. We should also mention that coming up very shortly, the Stevenson Patriots girls team, they are going for the state championship. They're 2 games away from the title. And Dan, hopefully you'll have them on Sports Final coming up in the weeks ahead. Them along with their head coach, Frank Matucci. Good luck to the Patriots. They're going to be taking on the number 2 ranked team in the state, Freeport at 32-0, and Stevenson currently ranked number 1 in the state and number 3 in the nation. Tamika Catchings with an absolutely marvelous game, despite having a sprained wrist in which she got in their win on Monday night in the super sectional win over Resurrection. All she did, Dan, with a sprained wrist, to score 27 points and rip down 20 rebounds in their 30-point blowout win that was yesterday.
I can do that on the Nerf net. Lee, it appears that luck just doesn't want to go the way of the Stevenson Lady Patriots. We saw Katie Coleman go down after that big win against Libertyville. Tamika Catchings has a sprained wrist. I hope that team is healthy and ready tonight.
The winner of that game will take on the winner of Normal and Mother McCauley. That game will be tomorrow afternoon. Good luck to the Patriots. Hope they can bring the big trophy home to Lincolnshire. Conant needs a little spurt now as they trail by 9, and they're going to get it down the lane via the hand of Jeff Bergman, his first deuce of the night.
Lee, Bergman is the type of player who can put on a bunch of points in quick spurts.
Huskies leading by 7, 13-6, just over 2 minutes remaining in the opening quarter.
Both teams really going to their bench early.
Well, we see Conant year in and year out. They usually go about 10 or 11 deep. Faking the three-pointer is Bauscher. He gets a shorter shot from the left baseline, in and out. Tip try is good by Wolf, and he's fouled by, I believe, Butler of Conant.
Lee, Paul Wolf just volleyballed that ball in beautifully.
15-6, Cougars by 9, equaling their biggest lead. They have a chance to get their biggest lead of the night should Wolf convert the three-point play. 4 team fouls on the Cougars now, 2 on the Huskies. Free throw, nothing but net. 16-6, Conant now trails by its biggest deficit of the quarter, 10 points. Under 2 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Three-pointer by Dubois, off the back of the rim, no good. Offensive rebound by Crutch. Save try out of bounds off of Potoknik of Hersey. James Yoon also in the lineup, number 34 for the Conant Cougars. He's a senior guard. He has the ball as we speak. Bergman drives left baseline, and there's going to be a holding foul on Brad Bauscher of Hersey, his first third-team foul on the Huskies. Frank Dudzik, who also participated in the three-point shootout contest prior to the game, checks in for the first time as he will replace Bill Crutch.
Lee, talking about Jeff Bergman of Conant for a second, this is a kid who really has a very good first step to the basket, and he's already proved tonight that he can score, and if Bergman gets hot, he's the type of player who could change the complexion of the game very quickly.
Jeremy Roach with 4 of the 6 points in the quarter for Conant. Check that Dubois shot is blocked. It's retrieved by Bergman, left baseline. He drives left baseline, Shot is no good, and we're going to have a foul on the Huskies. I believe it's a pushing foul on Hersey. We're going to take a look at that foul coming up momentarily.
They're going to call that foul, it appears, on Bob Davis.
Actually, I guess they're going to give it to Brad Boucher. That'll be his second. First player to get 2 fouls here in the first quarter.
I thought it was on Davis after the look we saw on his face.
Speaking of Davis, he's in the lineup now, number 34, senior forward for the Huskies. Jeff Bergman at the charity stripe hits the first of 2.
Bergman has a nice touch.
Paul Wolf is the leading scorer so far in the game. He has 7 points to lead the Huskies. He certainly has looked every bit the part of his Mid-Suburban League North Player of the Year honor, presented by the Daily Herald, as we have one of their top sports writers next to us, Phil Brzezinski.
He is the
Phil's
top
already
sports
writing out
writer.
that check to the big guy's house. Second free throw is good by Bergman. It's always fun to have Phil on Sports File, though, isn't it? I mean, that's like a half hour of just sheer entertainment.
Let me tell you something. With Phil on Sports File, all you need are 2 or 3 questions, and that half hour's gone.
16-8, 8-point lead for Hersey.
You know,
Off balance is Becker, and there's going to be a
when
foul.
I call Phil to be on Sports File, I say, Phil, can you make this date? Well, let me check my calendar. Channel 2 wants me, Channel 5 wants me, Channel 7 wants me. Yeah, Dan, I'll blow them off. I can make Sports File.
Well, hey, he should be. He certainly does an outstanding job writing. And he certainly knows his high school sports, football, basketball, and also he'll be doing tennis once again, right, Phil? First free throw is good by Becker.
Phil told me last Monday he's considering joining a tennis club to refine his game.
Well, he could take lessons from my dad next to me. My dad certainly has aced me a number of times on the court, as I show my John McEnroe temper every now and then. Becker hits both free throws. And
what type of temper change went over you to grow this little goatee that you're sporting?
well, I wanted to see if I could have more hair on my face than I could on my head. Steal by Bergman of Conant as the Cougars trail by 10, 18-8. Trying to get the lead under double digits, under a minute remaining in the opening quarter. On the move, Bergman's shot is no good. It's rebounded by Michael White.
Lee, Michael White has been great tonight. What I like so much about Michael is how active he is around the basket and with the basketball.
He certainly shows great athletic ability, as we've seen in the first quarter. Hersey turned the ball over as they threw an inadvertent pass off the backboard.
Excellent
Conant now
double
with it.
teaming of the basketball, Lee, by Hersey.
Under a half minute remaining in the opening quarter, down the lane, and we are going to get a foul, I believe, on Robert Davis, much to his disapproval. Don Raleigh of Hersey also can't believe it. I think that probably would have been an offensive foul had there not been a foul on Robert Davis prior to the goal to the hoop by Brian Butler. Davis with his first foul, as I mentioned. That is the 5th team foul now on the Huskies. First free throw is good by Butler. Both teams with 5 team fouls in the opening quarter. Hersey has one lone junior in their starting lineup, as does Hersey. Butler hits both free throws. It's back to an 8-point lead for Hersey. 18-10 with now 20 seconds and counting remaining in the opening quarter. Hersey most likely will go for the last shot. Well, I was wrong. Three-pointer no good by Wolf. And it's rebounded now by the Cougars. Final seconds of the opening quarter. Butler drives, kicks it off to Shader. Shot is blocked. And the shot up at the buzzer, rims no good by Dudzik. At the end of the first quarter, the score, Hersey 18, Conant 10. We'll be back for the second 8 minutes right after this.
Armin!
I'm an Australian kid. Being physically active is in my skin. There are days where it's more intense and there are days that it's less intense. But I'm always active. It's not a fad. I don't do it in order to keep in shape for business. I do it because it's part of me. I think in life it's really important to be a player and not a spectator. Sometimes it's difficult, but it's worth it.
ESPN2, people who do. Mary.
Uh-huh.
Mary, Mary.
Dear, funny Mary.
Mary, Mary, Mary.
Oh, forget it.
Mary, 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 Mary.
Here I am.
Mary, Mary, Mary.
I know.
Mary, Mary.
Oh, Mary, you're just so Mary.
Mary.
What show is this for, anyway?
The Mary Tyler Moore Show.
Lee Anderson back at Hersey High School along with Dan Richmond. The Conant Cougars trail the Hersey Huskies in this regional championship game here at Hersey High School, 18-10 as we start the second quarter. Becker, Patoknik, Nelson, Wolf, and White, the five out there to start the second quarter for the Hersey Huskies. Bergman, Dubois, Shader, Crutch, and Butler, the five out there for Conant. Backdoor pass to Nelson, he misses the layup, and there's going to be a foul on Hersey's Nelson.
Great passing that time by Hersey, Lee. It's a shame they couldn't convert that one.
Sixth team foul on Hersey. That's the first foul individually on Nelson. There you look at some of the Hersey fans here tonight in Arlington Heights. Not too far away from my house. A rare occurrence, doing a basketball game very close to the house. A rare occurrence at Hersey High School, as all of our teams that were home were knocked out. We were planning on possibly being at Hoffman Estates tonight, but they were upset by Wheeling a few nights ago.
We're glad to be here at Hersey.
There's a whistle and a foul with 7:22 left remaining in the second quarter. There you look at Don Rawley in his sixth year at Hersey. He's done an excellent job, as has Tom McCormick at Conant.
Lee, Coach McCormick's irate that no foul's been called.
Willie Jackson explaining, he's the referee, explaining the call to Tom McCormick. I guess they were going to call a double foul, so instead of calling a double foul, they call no foul. Well, you don't see that very often. Dan Becker is all over Butler. Three-pointer by Dubois is no good, and we're going to get a foul on Hersey.
I got to tell you, Becker, when you said he was all over one of the Conant players earlier, I thought he was in a little too close. I definitely thought Becker was reaching.
That foul was on Becker. First foul.
There it is there. There's Becker. He's definitely hitting him.
On the charity stripe for the second time in the first half is Brian Butler. He hit 2 free throws late in the first quarter for his lone 2 points of the game. First free throw is good. 18-11. Conant's cut Hersey's 10-point lead down to 7. That was Hersey's biggest lead of the first quarter. Conant did not lead at all in the first quarter. The game was tied once at 2 apiece. Next free throw off the back of the rim, no good. Rebounded by Michael White as Hersey has it with a 7-point lead here in the first minute of the second quarter. Michael White on the move, banks it in off the glass nicely.
Michael's first bucket of the second quarter, Lee.
White with 4, and Hersey leads by 9, 20-11, with 6:55 remaining in the first half. Three-pointer by Bergman off the back of the rim, no good. Conant struggling from the three-point arc.
They're struggling from the three-point arc, and they're also only getting one shot at the basket. No offensive rebounding at all so far tonight by Conant.
Nelson was all alone up court for the layup, and Conant's going to call a timeout as Hersey now has its biggest lead at 11. Roach will come back in after the timeout for Conant, as will Bauscher for Hersey. 22-11, Hersey over the Cougars.
Lee, obviously Conant's having a lot of problems from the three-point stripe. They're going to have to try to work the ball inside, maybe to a Jeremy Roach or a Crutch, someone like that, so they can just try to create something inside that maybe the outside game will open up for them, and they'll be getting better looks at the basket, because a lot of these three-point shots by the Conant Cougars have been rushed. Now on the flip side, all cylinders are starting to click again for Hersey. They clicked early, then they went into a little bit of a rut when they took some of the starters out. Now Michael White and some of the other guys are back in, and they're really looking good.
While we have this time, we would like to congratulate the Frem Vikings swimming team for winning a second consecutive championship. And Paul Reif, certainly an outstanding coach, and it's something hard to do to win one, but to win two, boy, that's even more impressive.
That is very impressive. And also, big congratulations in order to Frem. The girls will be on Sports File Monday, the state girls gymnastics champs. I don't remember if we mentioned them last Thursday when we were at Stevenson High School, but they're also champions, and they'll be on the show on Monday.
Frem Vikings enjoying some success via the state championship way in the last couple of weeks in girls gymnastics and boys swimming. 22-11. I'm sure Conant would like to narrow this lead down to about 5 at halftime to feel that they have a chance to win this contest. They don't want to be down by more than 10 here on the road, here on the home of the Mid-Suburban League champions.
Lee, Conant just doesn't seem to be in sync at all offensively.
No, they don't. They trail by 11. There's going to be a reach-in foul on Dan Becker.
That's Becker's second.
Check that, Mike Becker. Mike Becker with his second foul. And on the free throw line, as Conant will be in the 1-and-1, the rest of the first half will be Dave Dubois. Dubois is yet to scratch offensively here in the first half.
And Dubois is a player Conant really relies on to get some scoring.
We saw Conant earlier in the year, our second game of the regular season at Hoffman Estates, as Dubois hits the first free throw, 22-12 in favor of Conant. Well, that might have been our most exciting game of the year from start to finish, in that it basically was in doubt throughout the whole game. You didn't know who was going to win. The lead went back and forth, and it was a high-scoring affair.
I remember the game. I'm still tired from it. And Phil Brzezinski let me know that was the first time in a decade that Hoffman Estates scored 80 points.
A couple of more substitutions back in the lineup for Hersey. Paul Wolf and Chris Jacobs come back in the lineup for the Huskies, replacing Becker and Patoknik.
Lee, this is the first opportunity I've had to see the Hershey Huskies this season, and what I like about them so far, they really play as a team.
And Michael White certainly got great athletic ability as well. 22-12, Conant down by 10. Off-balance shot, no good by Butler. Offensive rebound off the glass, no good by Bergman. And then he tips it back home.
That's the athleticism we were talking about with Bergman earlier, Lee. A very good example. And now Bergman picking Jacobs up right away.
Bergman with 6, 22-14, 8-point lead for the Huskies. Three-pointer off the front of the rim by Wolf, no good. Rebounded on the move by Jeremy Roach. Here's where Hersey, or check that, Conant needs to seize an opportunity offensively, trailing now by 8. Bounce pass to Crutch. He doesn't get the layup to go. Oh, that's too bad. Here comes Michael White now as he slows it up. Instead, he takes a three-pointer in and out. Tip try by Nelson, no good. And we're going to get a foul on Roach.
Lee, Steve Nelson has been all over the court tonight. This is a kid who's filling in for the starter, and he has been doing a very good job.
That foul was on Roach, his second, and that's the 6th team foul on Conant. On the free throw line will be Nelson for 2. 5:24 remaining in the first half. Hope you're enjoying this Mid-Suburban League final game, with the winner moving to Buffalo Grove next Wednesday night in the sectional semifinals to take on either Addison Trail or Elgin. First free throw is good by Nelson. He's got 7 to time for team scoring honors with Wolf. Hersey has led throughout the game. There's been one tie. It was at 2 apiece. They've led by as many as 11. They currently lead by 9, pending the second free throw by Nelson. Second free throw also good. Nelson now becomes the leading scorer on either club with 8.
Lee, let's play a little sports Jeopardy while we have this opportunity. The answer is Hersey High School graduate, played in the NBA for many years.
Dave Corzine.
You got it. Nope. Who is Dave Corzine?
Oh, who is Dave Corzine? I'm sorry. Da-da-da-da. There's going to be a foul on the Huskies. Foul was on Steve Nelson. That's his second. He becomes
got
the
that
third
a lot
player.
quicker than you got Andrea Yeager.
Yeah, last week at Stevenson I was
Dumbfounded.
stumped. Yes, I was.
I'm there 24 hours a day.
Andrea Yeager, of course, playing at Stevenson. And Dan asked me which former tennis player went to Stevenson High School, and I didn't know. And I should have known that because I love the game of tennis. Can't
Phil
play it all
Brzezinski
that
would have
well.
known. I wonder if Phil covered Andrea Yeager at Stevenson.
24-15. Cougars within 9. They're still within 9 as Dubois misses the second of 2 free throws. Over 5 minutes remaining here in the first half. Nelson is alone, off the rim, no good. Tip try out to Crutch. Loose ball into the hands of Crutch. On the floor, Nelson, also Shader, and we're going to have a jump ball.
Lee, I can't believe there wasn't a foul called there on Bill Crutch as he just rolled into Jacobs on the floor. And the Hersey coaching staff is irate.
I didn't mean to throw anyone off. Of course, there are no jump balls after the opening tip of the game. They rotate. The possession arrow will belong to Conant. The next jump ball situation will be in Hersey's favor. Bill Crutch now on the move, inside to Shader. He misses the layup. That's another missed layup by the Cougars. Well, you can't get more better execution than that. You just got to convert. Shot on the move from the left baseline, no good by Wolf, rebounded by Bergman.
Wolf's missed about 3 or 4 easy shots tonight, and that's one of them.
Bergman fakes the three, nearly stolen by Michael White. Ball knocked out of bounds by Chris Jacobs.
Good quickness, good hands by the Hersey Huskies.
You know, you were saying, Dan, Conant appeared a little out of sync, or they have appeared a little out of sync in the first half. They haven't shot well. They've missed a couple of layups, but yet they're only down by 9 points. They're in this contest. They got to feel good about it in that respect.
Well, Hersey's played in spurts so far, Lee. When they're on, they're great, and when they're not doing anything, it's just like they're in a lull.
Bounce pass knocked away by Jacobs. Here comes Michael White on the break. Stops from near the free throw line. Shot is up, no good. He gets the offensive rebound. The tip to Jacobs. He misses the layup from the left side. It's rebounded by Brian Butler. Both teams in a little bit of rut offensively. Just over halfway through this second quarter. Three-pointer missed by Dubois. Offensive rebound. Bergman had it momentarily, and it's off of Conant. Don Raleigh, there you see him on the screen, the front man. He had his orange jacket on against Barrington. I believe he had it on for the Mid-Suburban League Championship. I asked him before the game, I said, Don, where's the orange jacket? He says, I don't want to go to the well too many times. Maybe that scare on Wednesday night against Barrington forced him to go to another jacket for this game. Looks a little bit a la Lou Henson's jacket. 3:35 remaining in the first half. Conant
I'll
still
say
trails
this
by
about
9.
Coach Don Raleigh. He has much better hair than Lou Hanson.
Better than the Lou do?
Much better.
24-15 in favor of the Huskies as we wave to a couple of the fans here at this regional final game at Hersey High School in Arlington Heights, home of the Huskies, the Mid-Suburban League Championship. Check out the Mid-Suburban League champions. As Dan mentioned, a walking call on Bauscher, the transfer a year ago from St. Viator. Vince Marino gives it to Butler, alone for the three-pointer. He gets that one to go, and Hersey's within 6. Check that, Conant's within 6.
Nice job by Vince Marino, Lee, dribbling into the seam, then kicking the ball back out to Butler as he hits the three.
Let's see if that generates some more positives offensively for the Cougars. Butler with 6. The Conant fans above us now clapping their hands. Nelson is alone for the jumper, good from the free throw line.
Beautiful look at the bucket that time by Nelson, and he just drained the deuce.
Nelson becomes the first player to reach double figures. He's got 10. Marino down the lane. Kicks it off. Another three-pointer by Butler. He gets the roll. Brian Butler has hit 2 straight three-pointers, and Conant's within 5.
That's exactly what I was going to say. We now have a 5-point game.
This is about where they want to be at the end of the half. They can stay right about here at half. They got a chance in that second half. Nelson all alone hits the jumper this time from the left side.
Nelson with 11.
28-21. Hersey up by 7. Steal by Michael White. All alone, Wolf. He lays it in off the glass from the right side. Wolf with 9. Hersey leading 30-21. Crowd chanting defense opposite us. Under 2 minutes remaining in the first half. Conant's trailed by as many as 11. Three-pointer is an air ball by Dudzik. Here comes Michael White on the break, and he lays it in off the glass from the left.
Michael wanted to show his springs that time, but the players behind him just wouldn't let him as he went in for the easy layup.
White with his third field goal. He's got 6, and Hersey scored the last 6 in a row after Conant had cut the Huskies' lead down to 5. The Huskies, as you said, Dan, have played a little bit in spurts in the first half, and they're on one right now.
Lee, Butler's been open many times for Conant, the guy who's hit 2 threes in a row. They have to get him the ball.
Just over a minute remaining in the first half. Hersey looking for their 23rd win of the year against 4 defeats. They've led the entire first half.
There he is again, Lee.
Butler's alone. He has hit 2 3-pointers in a row. Dudzik, left baseline. Backs it out just a bit. Now gives it cross court to Butler. Another 3-pointer. Off the rim, no good. Rebounded by Wolf. He gives it to White. Ball knocked away in the hands of Jacobs. Touch pass to Nelson for the layup.
Lee, that 5-point lead is now 13.
Nelson has 14 points. That's his 6th field goal. 20 seconds remaining in the half. And Hersey's on an 8-0 run. Cougars need a basket here to get some kind of momentum. And now we're going to have a traveling call on Marino of Conant. Bergman and Yoon back in the lineup for Conant with 7 seconds remaining until intermission. Well, Tom McCormick's going to have to devise a pretty good game plan to come back in this one in the second half, Dan.
You know, Lee, Conant's had the opportunities. They're just not hitting the shots consistently.
3-pointer at the buzzer by White off the rim, no good. We have come to the end of the first half, and the home team, the Hersey Huskies, lead by 13 over the Conant Cougars. The score, Hersey 34, Conant 21. We'll be back for the second half right after you watch this on Channel 13.
Hi, I'm Brian Shaw, a manager here at Continental Cablevision. Our customers are very important to us. That's why we've sent you a very important customer card. With the VIC card, you'll enjoy discounts at local retailers like this one.
It's Chicago Pizza Authority in Palatine, serving quality pizza and pasta since 1984, featuring fast delivery, carryout, and casual dining. Flash your very important customer card and get $3 off a large pizza or $1 off any buffet for you and your party. That's Chicago Pizza Authority in Palatine.
In 1776, one vote decided that the American settlers would speak English rather than German. And in 1993, one vote kept America's future in space alive. One extra vote saved the space station. We sometimes think that one individual, one vote doesn't count, but it does. Call the National Space Society now at the toll-free number on your screen. You can help save America's dream for a spacefaring civilization. Call now and we'll tell you how.
With Dan Richmond back at Hersey High School, home of this year's Mid-Suburban League champions. In Arlington Heights, the home of the Hersey Huskies. The first half has been led from start to finish by the Huskies. They lead by 13, 34-21 as we look at halftime scoring. For Conant, Jeff Bergman with 6. Brian Butler has 9, including both of their 3-pointers. Dave Dubois had 2 points, both at the charity stripe, and Jeremy Roach with 4. The only player with 2 fouls on Conant is Jeremy Roach. He has 2. For Hersey, Michael White with 6, Paul Wolf with 9, Brad Boucher has 3. It was their lone 3-pointer of the first half. Mike Becker with 2 points off the bench, and the leading scorer of the first half is Steve Nelson with 14 points. Nelson, Boucher, and Becker all with 2 fouls apiece for Hersey. Dan, as we prepare for the second half, I think Conant's got to hope that Hersey goes into a little bit what they did in their last game against Barrington, possibly go a little tentative. The Cougars have got to force some turnovers, and they certainly have got to hit some of their outside shots, plain and simple.
I think you hit the nail on the head. More than Conant hitting the outside shots, which is the obvious, they have to try to create some turnovers with defense. They're going to have to make their defense create the offense. I know we've talked about this all season long till we're blue in the face, but I got to tell you something, Lee. It is so true. There's so many occasions when defense creates offense, and right now is when Conant has to do it.
While we have this moment, this perhaps may be our last game of the year.
Don't say that.
Well, I'm not going to jinx anyone, but if this is our last game of the year, we certainly want to thank everyone. While we have this moment, we're not saying it's official, but while we have this moment, I do want to thank everyone, including yourself, Dan Richmond, John Gyra, everybody in the truck, Tom Paduke, Armin Klugian, Mike Poglich. If I don't get everybody in, I'm going to get in trouble anyway, so I'm not going to be able to get everybody in anyway. Neil Trilling, the list goes on and on. Jay Elliott.
Jan.
Good to see Jan back here
John,
tonight.
the camera guy.
But certainly, everyone has done an outstanding job, and we want to thank everyone for all their hard work because, as you see on the screen, success comes by teamwork, and certainly that exemplifies the job that Channel 13 has done this year. And we also want to thank you, the viewers, for watching all year.
Lee, it's really been a great year. Also, most importantly, we forgot to thank Becky Cianci, who helps make it all possible for us.
It's certainly been a fun year, very fast year.
Yeah, it has.
But we've certainly had more thrills and excitement as we have here over the years on Channel 13. Hersey with the ball, leading by 13. Shot is missed by Nelson for the first shot of the second half. Brian Butler with the ball, Jeff Bergman, Jeremy Roach, Bill Crutch, and Dave Dubois. The 5 out there for Conant. Brian Butler with 11. He's the leading scorer for Conant as the Cougars are within 11 at 34-23.
Excuse me for interrupting earlier, Lee. We do have some technical problems with our headsets tonight, where sometimes I don't properly hear you.
Three-pointer way off the mark by Michael White.
That was a brick.
Here's where Conant now needs to make a little bit of a run. Three-pointer, no good by Crutch, rebounded by Nelson.
Lee, I really like the way Steve Nelson has played tonight. An outstanding first half, and so far he's been doing a nice job in the early going this quarter.
Nelson, of course, is filling in for the starting center, Chris Nowinski, who a few weeks ago suffered a stress fracture in his tibia bone. Don Raleigh, before the game, said he might play nearly a quarter. He was given clearance to play nearly a quarter, but we did not see him in the first half. We may see him in the second half. There's going to be a pushing foul on the Conant Cougars. That'll be against Bill Crutch, his first team foul in the second half for the Cougars. 34-23 in favor of Hersey. They led by as many as 13 in the first half. Conant never led in the first half. There was one tie in the game, and that was very early at 2 apiece. Cross court to Wolf for the three-pointer. Off the rim, no good. Battle for the loose ball, and it's retrieved by Bergman. 6:20 remaining in the third quarter of this regional final game, and the Huskies leading the Cougars 34-23. Jeremy Roach on the move, off the glass, no good. Bergman gets the offensive rebound. Butler fakes the three, off the glass, no good. Another missed opportunity by Conant. Here comes Hersey on the break, and the ball is thrown out of bounds. Slammed in disgust by Michael White.
You know what? I don't believe that was Michael's intention to really slam the ball like that. It was really a reactionary thing, and it was a smart no call by the refs not to call a technical there.
There you look at Tom McCormick. He needs to find a way to get his team to hit some more of their outside shots and force some more turnovers if they're going to have a chance to move on to next week's sectional semifinal against either Addison Trail or Elgin at Buffalo Grove. Ball deflective, stolen by Nelson. Wolf now on the break, stops, sets up shop now for the Huskies.
Good teamwork that time by Paul Wolf. He saw he didn't have the opening, he kicked it right back out to Bauscher and reset up the offense.
Under 5.5 remaining in the third quarter. Michael White from the left baseline, that's an air ball. Battle for the loose ball, and it's recovered momentarily by Bergman, out of bounds off of Jacobs. So Hersey has not scored in the first 2 minutes and 42 seconds of the third quarter, but Conant hasn't made up much ground. They've only scored a deuce.
Well, the Conant defense has given Michael White the outside shooting opportunities, and he's not hitting the shot so far, so it's been good, smart coaching by Conant.
Crutch has the ball knocked away. He recovers, and there's now going to be a slapping foul on Paul Wolf of Hersey.
Paul reached in that time, Lee.
Wolf with his second. That's the first team foul of the second half on Hersey. Michael White will take a seat on the bench, and he will be replaced by Patoknik. Here comes Nowinski in the game, their starting center. We said he might come in the second half, and in fact he does. He'll play maybe a quarter. Let's see how effective he'll be. He has a stretch fracture in his tibia bone. That's, I guess, by your shin.
Good observation, Lee.
Am I ready for medical school? Don't call me Dr. J. Call me Dr. Lee. Shot is missed, and it's off of Jeremy Roach, out of bounds, and it'll give it back to Hersey.
Hersey's going to design a set play there. I saw Coach Don Rowley making some gesture with his arms for a set play.
It remains 34-23. Hersey by 11. Bauscher on the move. Doesn't get the shot to fall, but he's fouled. I believe there's going to be a pushing foul on the Cougars. James Yoon will check back in the lineup, replacing in the lineup for the Cougars. Brian Butler with the foul, his second, team second. There you look at the Conant Cougars cheerleading squad. You have lovely young ladies. Three-pointer. It's nothing but net, but we are going to have a foul. I believe it's going to be on Nowinski of Hersey. That'll be no basket.
James Yu looking very happy right now.
Well, Nowinski wastes no time, comes into the game for the first time and promptly gets a pushing foul offensively. That, as I mentioned, negated the three-pointer, so it remains an 11-point Hersey lead. Conant needs to make some headway offensively while Hersey is in a scoring drought. Jeremy Roach.
Double dribble.
He turns the ball over, another turnover. Something that obviously Conant fans and Coach Tom McCormick, they don't want to see as their team trails by 11. As we're nearing the halfway point of the third quarter. Nowinski with the ball. Their starting center. Shot by Bauscher, no good. Rebounded by Bergman on the break. Ball knocked away and stolen beautifully by Jacobs, and he gets the layup from the left side.
That could be the on switch the Hersey Huskies need.
Jacobs with his first basket of the game. Ball nearly stolen again. Yoon on the ground. Nice save by James Yoon into the hands of Dave Dubois. Hersey again with their biggest lead at 13. Each team has only got 2 points in over 4 minutes of play here in the third quarter. We're going to have a pushing foul on Hersey. Foul is on Paul Wolf. Or you look at the Husky mascot. He likes what he sees from his home team, Huskies.
Lee, that's Paul Wolf's third foul. Coach Don Raleigh has a big decision here with 3:41 left in the third to let Wolf play with three or sit him down for a couple minutes.
As you mentioned, Dan, that was Wolf's third foul, third team foul in the second half for the Huskies.
And I think that Nelson's going to come in for Wolf, and they're going to go big with both Nowinski and Wolf in there at the same time. It takes away the Hersey speed and quickness, but it definitely adds strength and size.
Bill Crutch now with the ball, left side, being guarded by Jacobs. Hersey in a man-to-man. Cougars the ball down by 13, and we're going to have another foul. This one is going to be on Patoknik. First foul on Patoknik, fourth team foul on the Hersey Huskies.
Now to compensate for the lack of quickness that the Hersey Huskies are going to lose when Nelson comes in for Wolf, we're going to see Becker come back in the lineup, and I think the reason Becker is coming back in so soon in the third lead is to add some speed and quickness.
Well, actually, Nowinski gets a seat in the Pines. They leave Wolf in the game. They, I guess, don't want to risk playing Nowinski all that much since he's coming back from such a severe injury.
So basically all the strategy I had now goes out the window.
Well, you might have a chance to use it again before the night is over.
I actually did some thinking on this one, Lee.
First free throw is missed by Bergman. He had 6 points in the first half. He's yet to scratch offensively in the second half.
When I get that call from LOTV on Monday that I've been replaced because I've been thinking too much.
Bergman hits one of 2 free throws. He's got 7. The lead is 12 for the Huskies, 36-24. Nelson with the fake, and he gets the shot to fall. He's got 16. 14-point lead for Hersey. That's their biggest lead of the night at 38-24 as we're entering the later minutes of the third quarter. I don't want to say it's panic time yet for Conant, but they're going to certainly have to make something happen offensively in a relatively short time. Shader is open for a three off the rim. No good. Offensive rebound by Crutch. Ball knocked away, and another foul on Hersey with 2:35 remaining in the third quarter.
Lee, I really don't think Coach Tom McCormick wants Rob Shader shooting the ball from 22 feet. That's his big guy. And he just had a little chat with Shader at the sideline.
That foul was on Mike Becker. That is his third. He becomes the second Hersey player to commit 3 fouls. Wolf is the other. That's the 5th team foul on Hersey on the free throw line. Shooting 2 is Bill Crutch, and he is yet to score in the game, and he's averaging roughly 13 points per game. First free throw is good as he finally breaks the goose egg column offensively. Or as in tennis terms, as Phil would like this, the bagel. That's what it's called when you get beaten a set 6-0, you get bageled. Aren't you glad you knew that, Dan?
Of course I knew that. Plain or poppy, pal.
1 of 2 free throws by Crutch, and the ball is out of bounds off of Conant with 2:32 remaining in the third quarter. You can put anything you want on that bagel, Dan. Dubois is back in the lineup replacing Crutch as Conant will go with a full court man-to-man pressure, but Hersey has no problems breaking the press. Huskies' lead, has not been challenged here in the third quarter. Their lead was 13 at halftime. They lead by 13 here with 2:15 and counting remaining in the third quarter. Paul Wolf over the glass, almost got it to fall, and it's stolen nicely by Wolf, but then he throws it away into the hands of Yoon, up court to Butler. On the break, tough shot, no good. Rebounded, Becker with the save. What a save to Patoknik. The numbers aren't there, but instead he goes one-on-one and gets the shot to go off the glass from the right side.
Great move that time by Potnich. He had to go one-on-one, and he put it in the hole.
On the move, Bergman doesn't get it to fall, and on frustration, he gets a reach-in foul.
Foul on Bergman.
Bergman with his second. That's the third team foul on Conant. 1:43 remaining in the third quarter, and Hersey right now is in command of this ball game, leading by 15 points. The winner of this game will move on to the Buffalo Grove sectional semifinals, and they will take on the winner of Addison Trail and Elgin. Wolf with the ball now, top of the key, kicks it off to Becker. Now in the corner to Patoknik. Huskies moving the ball nicely offensively, looking for the good shot. Of course, no shot clock in high school basketball, so they can take as much time as they want. Shuffle pass stolen by Shader. Nice pass to Yoon. He doesn't get the shot to go. Boy, they would have loved that and a try for a three-point play, but the shot doesn't fall. Foul on the Huskies.
Nice little shovel pass, as you said, by Shader to Yu. That's the first time I've seen James Yu shoot in the 2 games we've done.
Yoon will be at the charity stripe, trying to get in the scoring column for the first time. Tim Hersey, the quarterback on the Cougar football team, number 12, a junior, is into the lineup for the first time. Chris Jacobs checks back into the Hersey lineup, replacing Becker. Huskies by 15. That is their biggest lead. Robert Davis will check back into the lineup as we speak for Hersey. He will replace Nelson. Steve Nelson leaves the leading scorer in the game with 16 points, 14 of which came in the first half. Yoon ready for the first free throw. Off the back of the rim, no good. The Mid-Suburban League champion Hersey Huskies taking on last year's Mid-Suburban League champions, the Conant Cougars. Both free throws are missed by Yoon. Boy, you can't do that when you're down by 15 points. We're under a minute here in the third quarter. Hersey at 22-4 entering tonight's game. Conant at 15-11. Conant last year went downstate only to fall short in the quarterfinals to Lyons Township.
That's a walk.
Boy, Conant had a great team last year. Corey Brown, who is now playing at New Orleans, also Rick Kay at Eastern Illinois. They played here last year in the Mid-Suburban League Championship, and I think Rick Kay had about 5 dunks in the first half. He left with a sprained ankle, and Conant, even though Hersey made a furious comeback in the game, was able to hold on and win last year's Mid-Suburban League Championship.
Now,
here.
I didn't see Conant play last year until the state tournament. Did Coach McCormick do the multiple substitution thing last year?
He did.
Even with the talented players like Day and Brown, you saw them go out a lot too?
He went about 10 deep last year, too.
Wow.
Over the past couple of years, he's made a lot of wholesale substitutions. Bill Crutch is called for the pushing foul as he is unable to hold onto the basketball on the offensive side.
Lee, there are 2 thoughts to that theory on multiple substitution. Obviously, the first one keeps fresh bodies in there at all times, but the other one is that maybe these guys don't play together long enough to totally get in sync. But I got to tell you, you can't mess with the success that Tom McCormick's had at Conant.
Well, he's got 15 wins this year. He's had 20 or more wins the last 5 years. And when he took over the program about a decade ago, he certainly did one whale of a job to get this team back on the map on the right side. Three-pointer by Davis is good with 5 seconds remaining in the third quarter. The lead is 18. We have come to the end of the third quarter. It is all Hersey. It's the Huskies 43, the Cougars 25. We'll be back for the fourth and final quarter right after you watch this.
Hello, my name is John Tobin Turtolo, host of the Law Corner. Have you received a notice to appear for jury duty yet? Do you know your obligations and responsibilities regarding jury duty? What to do if you can't appear that day? And what to expect when you do serve on the jury? Tune into the Law Corner when we'll take a close-up look at our jury system here in Cook County.
The Law Corner, Wednesday, March 15th at 6 p.m.
Hi, I'm Ron Roscoe.
And I'm Rappin' Jan, and we're from The Tube.
If you're wondering what the heck The Tube is, you're definitely missing out.
The Tube is Chicagoland's only live music video show where you could win every single week.
We give away CDs, cassettes, premium channels, and even concert tickets.
Plus, we play all the chart-topping hits, and we let you decide what's going to be the top 2 requests of the night. What could be more fun?
Nothing as far as I'm concerned, so join us live every Thursday at 8 p.m. for The Tube, live, Continental Cablevision.
Back at the regional final at Hersey High School in Arlington Heights, along with Dan Richmond. I am Lee Anderson. Hersey well in command, leading right now by 18 over the Conant Cougars, 43-25. While we have this opportunity just before the start of the fourth and final quarter, we would like to thank Mr. Larry Travis, the athletic director at Hersey High School, as well as District 214, for letting us give this a rare occurrence at Hersey High School. We usually don't have a game for you on Channel 13 at Hersey High School, but since one of our area teams was eliminated, those being just Palatine and Conant left in the tournament as we speak, we went on the road, and we thank Larry Travis as well as District 214 for letting us bring this game to you tonight, as well as both head coaches, Tom McCormick of Conant and also Don Raleigh of Hersey, for all their information helping us with this game tonight. White off the break, tip try, no good, and we are going to have a foul on Hersey.
Lee, Michael White just has not gotten his game together in this second half. After shooting a couple air balls and bricks earlier, he seems to be very out of sync.
Foul was on Patoknik of Hersey. That's his second. 7th team foul on Hersey, so Conant will be shooting at every stoppage of play via a foul on Hersey here in the fourth and final quarter. 7:37 remaining in the game. Winner of this game, I mentioned, plays the winner of Addison Trail and Elgin. In the other bracket, Palatine is playing at Schaumburg. Palatine the 9th seed, Schaumburg the top seed. Wheeling, after their upset win a few nights ago at Hoffman Estates, is at Elgin Larkin, rounding out this Buffalo Grove sectional complex bracket. The free throw is good, but I think we're going to have a lane violation on Conant. Willie Jackson coming over to the scorer's table. There is going to be, I guess, a foul on Jeremy Roach, I believe. Let's wait and see now. Well, they're going to count the free throw. This is another thing, as you look at Tom McCormick on your screen, that you don't see very often. After the first of 2 free throws, they call a foul before the second free throw.
Very rarely see that.
Roach gets hit with the foul. That's his, well, it says 4 on the scoreboard. I have him with 3.
No, it's 4. The official score has 4.
It's got to be right. Better trust his opinion than mine. Dubois hits 1 of 2 free throws.
You, but they have the real power of the pen.
Yeah, right. Dubois is 3 for 6 line for all 3 of his points. 17-point lead. Michael White nearly traveled. Hersey certainly has the chance to be patient, leading by 17. The fans above us Channing air ball after Bauscher gets the ball every time. He threw up an air ball in the game, as did Dudzik for Conant. Ball is thrown away by Hersey. Conant has it. They need a few three-pointers in a hurry, trailing by 17. They've trailed by as many as 18. They've never had the lead in this game. Ball knocked away by Patoknik into the hands of Roach, and he gets the layup to inch its way in off the glass from the left side. That's Crutch's first field goal of the game. That gives him 3 points. 43-28. There's still time, but Conant needs some turnovers. All alone is Patoknik for the layup. Great pass by Bauscher. Patoknik with 4, steal by Michael White, and Hersey has the ball, leading 45-28. Well, I'll tell you this, I saw Hersey at least the second half of their game against Barrington. Steal by Jeremy Roach, momentarily retrieved by Jacobs, and then Robert Davis gets the layup off a good bounce pass by Jacobs.
Great bounce pass by Jacobs, Lee. He looked one way and threw the ball the other.
Air ball by Dubois, and Hersey now has it. Ball stolen away nicely by Bergman. Roach has it now on the break, and it looks like Butler has a knee injury. There's going to be a foul, or a double foul it looks like, on both Jacobs and Butler. Jacobs with his second, and Butler with his third. Paul Wolf will check back into the lineup for the Hersey Huskies, replacing Patoknik, who will leave with 4 points off the bench. 6:04 remaining in the game. And because it's a double foul, they will not have a jump ball. So the possession arrow is in favor of Hersey. So the Huskies will have it, leading by their biggest lead of the night at 19 points. Well, we saw Conant score 75 points in our last game, in which we had Conant this year. The only time we saw him this year at Hoffman Estates, in which they lost 80-75. But really a far cry offensively for them in this one against Hersey.
No doubt about it. Conant just has not gotten the shots to go down tonight, and they haven't created the turnovers they need to create defensively to get back in the game.
Well, I was starting to say before that double foul that Hersey has played certainly a lot better, and I saw the second half in their game against Barrington, but they've certainly been much sharper tonight in their game against the Conant Cougars. Well, those fans love saying air ball, don't they?
Yeah, I got to tell you, Lee, I don't often say this, but these fans behind us are really obnoxious tonight. There's a point of being a fan, we're giving someone a hard time, but to the point where these guys behind us are doing it really is not fair to the Hersey Huskies.
Dubois is fouled by Jacobs. That's his third, and on the free throw line will be Dubois.
Here it is on replay. Here's Dubois going for the drive, and he gets hammered as he goes in for it.
You know, I really thought, and we had talked a couple of weeks ago leading up to the state tournament, that I kind of was leaning toward Hersey to come out of this sectional complex and move out of the super sectionals at NIU and DeKalb. But I really thought that Conant was going to give him perhaps even a better game. Now, it's not over yet, but I thought the game would even be more closely contested throughout the game.
Well, you know, Lee, if you remember, I also liked Hersey a lot, too. I didn't dislike him. I just thought Hoffman was so good. They're that was the biggest upset in the whole state tournament so far. The highest seed to lose were the Hawks from Hoffman Estates. But they'll be back next year.
Dubois hits the first of 2 free throws. He has 4 points, all at the line. Second free throw, inches home. He's got 5. He's 5 for 8 at the line. Well, you know, though, Hoffman had a great year, and who's to say anybody can't lose in the early rounds, because these Hersey Huskies a couple of years ago, now all their players from that team, their starters are gone, but they were the top seed in the sectional complex. They lost to the 17th seed Lake Park. Right. So anything can happen in the early rounds.
Anything can happen.
White is called for traveling. You're right, Dan. 47-30. Conant needs a lot of work offensively in a hurry, as they trail by 17 points with just under 5 minutes remaining in the game. Lee Anderson along with Dan Richmond. Hope you're enjoying tonight's regional final game on Channel 13. Bergman stops and fires a three-pointer, no good. Offensive rebound by Dubois, and he's fouled by Wolf, and that's Wolf's fourth. Not too alarming for Hersey, because if they were up by maybe 4 points and Wolf commits his fourth, a little more concern, but you can get away with it a little easier when you're up by 17. Don Raleigh wants and gets a timeout for the Hersey Huskies. Dave Dubois, when we come back to live action, will be at the charity stripe. Dan?
I think Coach Don Raleigh's going to say to his team, and this is a real smart timeout, hey, got 17-point, we have a 17-point lead, a little under 5 minutes left. Let's not do anything stupid. Let's not play totally not to lose, but let's just make sure we don't make mistakes that are mistakes that we shouldn't make. You know, obviously mistakes are made, but let's play good, smart basketball, and let's go on to the sectionals.
Well, Dan, if this is our last game, what are you going to do now on Friday nights?
I got to think of some social things to do, because everyone knows my social life is next to nothing, and that's on a good week. And they say yours isn't much better. That's why you do the goatee to hide.
Right.
Hi, I'm Blackjack McDowell. I'm coming to the local place tonight.
Change a new leaf.
I guess I'm going to have to find things to do.
Well, we certainly enjoyed it, and I hope you have watching it here on Channel 13.
I asked Armin if we could do baseball games. You know what he said to me? Why do you want to do those? They're not on Friday nights. I said, Armin, can you move Sports File to Friday nights? He said, no.
It would break up the, so to speak, the rhythm of the Friday night thing. There's Neil Trilling on your monitor, boy.
It's another guy who has to find things to do on Fridays. You know what Armin's going to do on Fridays, don't you?
What is Armin going to be doing?
That new YMCA membership that he has.
Yeah, he's been working out.
I know he has.
Pretty soon he's going to have the physique like Jean-Claude Van Damme.
It's true. Armin's trying to mumble something
he
to us,
claims
but we
he
can't
does,
hear him tonight.
but we've yet to see it on camera. Dubois hits one of 2 free throws. He's got 6 points, all at the charity stripe. He's 6 for 10 at the line.
You know, Lee, I could barely pronounce Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Oh, it's not one of the easier names to pronounce. Wolf on the move, doesn't get the roll. What a nice tip try from the right side by Michael White. His first field goal the second half. That'll give him 8 points. 18-point lead for Hersey, 49-31, nearing the halfway point of the fourth and final quarter. Yeah, we saw moments ago Neil Trilling. Boy, you don't want to mess with Neil. He can be a cameraman, socialite, security guard. He's a heavy hitter from all angles. Couple of bodies on the ground, Bergman and Nelson, and we're going to have a foul on Hersey's Michael White. That is his second. On the free throw line is Jeff Bergman. He's 3 for 4 at the line. 7 points in the game, 6 of those in the first half. Robert Davis will re-enter the lineup, replacing Steve Nelson, who is still the leading scorer in the game for either side with 16 points. Bergman ready to shoot his 1-and-1. First free throw, nothing but net. Who did Phil Brzezinski pick to win state this year? Let me guess. He went on a limb and picked Ronnie Fields and Kevin Garnett and Farragut.
He picked Peoria Manual.
Did he?
Yep.
Phil picked Peoria Manual. Well, they beat Farragut this year.
He thinks Farragut's going to lose.
Well, Peoria Manual handed Farragut their only loss of the year, so who's to say it couldn't happen again?
I want to say Phil's picking Farragut to lose to Carver.
Phil's busy.
We were
planning his tennis run.
Who did you predict Farragut to lose to, Phil? Farragut.
Carver. Okay, Phil predicts Farragut to lose to Carver.
Yes, he did.
There you look at Larry Travis with the coat and tie. I understand Armin said it was a pleasure talking to him early this week. Ball is out of bounds off of Butler.
I think Armin's going to get a third headset for Phil next year.
Hey, that would be great. 49-33, Hersey with the ball. They've led by as many as 19, and they lead by 16.
Lee Jacobs has really played a solid game tonight.
Dubois with the foul. That'll be his second. Penalty situation. More fans taking part in this regional final game at Hersey High School. Really hasn't been very much in doubt since the very beginning of the game. Hersey really took control of this game from basically the word go. Jacobs hits the first of two. He has 3 points in the contest. It looks like, we don't want to say it's official, but it looks like the Huskies will be moving on to the Buffalo Grove Sectional Complex. Tip try, beautifully done by White. He's got 10.
Michael's first deuce of the second half, but boy, that was an exciting tip try by Michael as it went in.
Three-pointer by Butler is drilled good.
That's Brian's third of the evening.
Butler with 14 points to lead the Cougars, 52-36. 16-point lead for the Huskies with 3:17 and counting remaining in the game. Michael White, left baseline shot off the back of the rim, no good. And there is going to be a loose ball foul on Dave Dubois of Conant. That'll be his third. Brad Bauscher, who scored a three-point goal early in the first quarter, will be at the charity stripe, and he has not scored since that time. Bauscher will be on the line for a 1-and-1. Clock is stopped with 3:09 remaining in the game. Bauscher's first free throw is no good, and he won't get the second after missing the 1-and-1. Three-pointer by Bergman off the rim, no good. A rebound on the right side by Chris Jacobs. Kicks it off to Wolf. He gets it over the timeline to Michael White. Lob pass opposite side to Jacobs, knocked out of bounds by Crutch. I think, Dan, you're getting ready for your earplugs, aren't you? We've just been pointed out by Phil Brzezinski from the Daily Herald that Conant only has 9 field goals in this game. Well, you're not going to win a lot of games when you only have that many hoops here late in the game.
And 6 of those field goals came in the first half.
That's right. They only have 3 field goals here in the second half. Conant only scored 4 points in the third quarter. The ball was thrown away by Hersey just moments ago. Conant has it, trailing 52-36. Just over 2.5 minutes remaining in the game. What Conant could have really made some way in the third quarter because Hersey was not impressive offensively in the third quarter, but Conant just couldn't get it together themselves offensively. Ball out of bounds off of Hersey. Crowd a little subdued now compared to early in the game, as I guess most of them feel by now that the game is, I guess, pretty much in the win column for the Hersey Huskies. Although I haven't seen the fat lady yet. Have you, Dan?
No, I have not, but I hear she's roaming the building.
Maybe Neil has seen her so far. If she's here, Neil will find her for us. Air ball by Dubois in the lane. Foul is on
Dubois
Bergman.
has not hit a single field goal tonight.
Yeah, I mentioned all of his points are at the free throw line. He's 6 for 10 at the line. Bergman with his third foul. We're going to take a look at the foul. There's Bergman. Simple reach-in foul on Bauscher. Bauscher, just a short time ago, missed a 1-and-1. He will be back at the line once again for a 1-and-1. 52-36. First free throw is good by Bauscher. He's got 4.
We'll say this, Lee, the people behind us aren't giving up tonight.
They're going to yell to the final second, regardless if it's a 17-point lead or a 2-point lead. Oh, you can't fault him for being enthusiastic. Foul is on Michael White, and Dubois will be at the line once again, this
Lee,
time
they're
for a 1-and-1.
definitely past the enthusiastic stage, though.
Well, again, if this is our last game of the year, I guess if the score remains as it is, with Hersey well in command and they go on to win this contest, unless Palatine beats Schaumburg, This will be our last game on LOTV Channel 13 for the year until football season. Tearful but true. And we want to thank everyone involved for all their fine efforts in making us bring these games to you week in and week out during the football and basketball season. It's, as usual, been very fun. Dubois misses the front end of a 1-and-1. And also we want to thank you, the viewers, for putting up with me and Dan all year. I know it's not always easy.
Well, they have the luxury of turning the volume down, and I'm sure they did.
Paul Wolf with the layup. That's his first points in the second half. He's got 11. Dubois doesn't get his first field goal. Yoon with the tip try, and he's fouled by Jacobs. That'll be Jacobs' fourth. 1:45 remaining in the game, and it appears as if Conant has conceded defeat in this game. They trail by 19, 55-36. Tyrese Spears is into the game. Matt Butler is into the game. Also, Kevin Blazik enters the lineup for Conant. Welton Wright is into the game, also for Tom McCormick's crew. Well, Conant's going to finish the year at 15-12. This will be their first year after going 5 straight years of achieving 20 or more wins. But that's certainly nothing to be ashamed of. Teams would love to have the opportunity to have maybe 2 straight 20-plus win seasons. First free throw rolls around home for Yoon as he gets his first points of the game. 1:45 remaining in the game. Hersey leading 55-37. Yoon gets both free throws, making it 55-38 in favor of the Huskies. Yoon will take a seat on the Pines. Hersey has not emptied its bench yet. Some of the fans heading for home. The Huskies, now they're going to get set to empty their bench. Hersey will move to the sectional semifinals. Robert Davis, reverse layup try is no good. Conant has it, trailing by 17, under a minute and a half remaining in the game. Ball is knocked out of bounds by Wolf. Look out. Davis with layup try, no good. Tip try is good by Robert Davis. He's got 7 off the bench. On the move, and now we're going to have a foul on Michael White. That'll be White's 4th. And on the free throw line will be Kevin Blazik, who we saw moments ago crash near the scorer's table. The Hersey Huskies getting a standing ovation from their crowd, the Mid-Suburban League champions. They will be moving, as I mentioned, to Buffalo Grove to take on the winner of the other regional championship game between Addison Trail and Elgin, and they will move there after tonight's win with a mark of 23-4. I understand they got quite a team as well coming up. They have some outstanding younger players, so I'm sure you're going to be hearing a lot, I guess, from Hersey in the next couple years on the positive side.
It's a very senior-laden team for Hersey, Lee. This is the type of team that can do damage come state tournament time.
Blazik banks the first free throw good. Second one is missed. Hersey Huskies have it with just over a minute remaining in the game. And Hersey leading 57-39. Dan Corvus is in the game for Hersey. Steve Koliopoulos. Three-pointer well off the mark by Jason McKinney. And we are going to have a foul with 47 seconds remaining in the game. Zach Maddox will check into the lineup for the Huskies. He will replace John Wodle, who gets a quick entrance into the game and now a quick exit.
That was very quick. I think Coach Don Raleigh obviously just wants to get everyone in.
Well, we're into the final minute of the game. Could be our final minute of basketball for you this year on Channel 13, but we are glad that we're able to at least give you one playoff game before it was all said and done. That foul is going to be called against Steve Koliopoulos. That's his first. Crowd opposite us from where we're sitting, chanting Huskies, Huskies. 38 seconds remaining. On the free throw line is Matt Butler. Free throw is around and out, no good. And it's out of bounds off of Conant with 36 seconds remaining in the game. 57-39. The Huskies lead by 18. They've led by as many as 19. Conant never got any closer. They were trailing by 13 and a half. They never got any closer than 11 points here in the second half. So I guess you can say Hersey's lead was never threatened in the second half. Shot is missed by McKinney off of Conant with 11 ticks remaining on the clock. Stay tuned for our wrap-up show after the game right here on Channel 13. Three-pointer is no good by McKinney. Final seconds of the game, and that is it. The Hersey Huskies have advanced to the sectional semifinals at Buffalo Grove next Wednesday night as they knock off the Conant Cougars comfortably tonight here at Hersey High School. The final score, as you see on your screen, Hersey 57, Conant 39. Dan and I will be back to put the finishing touches on the broadcast right after you watch this.
Chicago Pizza Authority is not just another pizza place. Located in Palatine on Baldwin Road, Chicago Pizza Authority offers an all-you-can-eat lunch buffet served from 11 a.m. till 2 p.m. Monday through Friday, and a dinner buffet from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. 7 days a week. The buffet includes pizzas made with all your favorite toppings, hot homemade soups, a salad bar with the freshest cut vegetables, and a mouth-watering hot buffet with barbecue pork chops, chicken, and a variety of other pastas. So call the Chicago Pizza Authority at 358-8811.
Hello, my name is John Tobin Turtolo, host of the Law Corner. Have you received a notice to appear for jury duty yet? Do you know your obligations and responsibilities regarding jury duty? What to do if you can't appear that day? And what to expect when you do serve on the jury? Tune into the Law Corner when we'll take a close-up look at our jury system here in Cook County.
The Law Corner, Wednesday, March 15th at 6 p.m.
On Hometown Edition, we've covered skydivers in Palatine, sculptors in Elk Grove Village, and puppets in Rolling Meadows. But we're still looking for you. If you have a good story idea, drop us a line at Hometown Edition, 1575 Rowling Road, Rolling Meadows, Illinois, 60008. And who knows, we might just send out a camera crew and feature you on the next Hometown Edition. Just like fire trucks in Buffalo Grove and Greyhounds in Hoffman Estates. The best way to find out what's going on in your town is by watching Hometown exclusively on LOTV 13.
This is Dan Richmond back here at Hersey High School as I'm with the regional champs, the Hersey Huskies right now. We have Coach Don Rowley with us. We have Steve Nelson and Chris Jacobs. Coach Rowley, your seniors did it. 23 wins, and you keep on going.
That's a school record for us, and it's a breakthrough game for us. For our program to win a regional is a big step for our kids, and we're not finished. We're going to go a long way right now.
Steve Nelson, 16 points. You filled in the starting lineup tonight, and you were nothing short of outstanding. What'd you think going into this game against Conant tonight?
I just wanted to do something we haven't done in a long time here, and I knew I had to step up my play to help the team do it, so I just did. Stepped up.
Chris, the thing that impressed me about you tonight was your poise and floor leadership. You hit the open man so many times tonight. We saw you earlier shooting the trays. I thought you were going to launch many up there yourself. No, you didn't. You were truly the floor general, and what's the next step?
Hopefully we'll come down, play our sectional game, and go from there. And we really wanted to make amends for the Barrington game. We were really focused, ready to go for this one, and I think it showed in the way we played and the way that everyone came out aggressive.
Coach, one last question before I let you guys go. Congratulations again, but teamwork certainly is the key for your success.
Absolutely, and it comes from our defense first and then from everybody touching the ball on offense, and we win as a team. We don't have an outstanding player, but we have an outstanding team.
Coach Don Rowley, continued success and keep up the good work. Steve, good luck, and Chris, good luck. Let's go all the way, Hersey Huskies. Lee Anderson, come on in.
Thanks a lot, gentlemen. It certainly was a game in which Hersey took control from start to finish, and as Chris Jacobs said, I think they really wanted to be more focused and not let what might have happened to them a couple of nights ago against Barrington maybe stubbed their toe early as they did a couple of years ago. But they were really in control of this game, as I mentioned, from start to finish.
Lee, I'm glad Chris brought up the Barrington game in the interview, and I didn't have to, that they mentioned it. Hey, they had a little rocky water earlier. They were pumped tonight. They were ready to go. And that's a sign of a champion, when you can bounce back from a little adversity. And Hersey, yeah, they won, but it wasn't easy against Barrington, the 15th seed, and they came back and proved that they're a darn good team tonight.
Well, Dan, it certainly has been an exciting year. Again, if this is our last year, we don't know the outcome of the Palatine game, but this could be, as I mentioned throughout the broadcast, our last game of the year. And Dan, thanks for all your help this year. It certainly was a lot of fun.
Lee, it's been a great season, and I can look forward to continuing to work with you in the future.
It's been nothing but great fun, and we want to thank everyone involved in the Continental Cablevision broadcast for not only our football season, but possibly our basketball season, concluding as we speak. For Dan Richmond, Lee Anderson, the entire Continental Cablevision crew, and you, the viewers, thanks for watching all year. Repeating the final score of this regional final game, Hersey moves to the sectional semifinals next week again at Buffalo Grove High School. They knock off the Conant Cougars tonight, 57-39. From Hersey High School in Arlington Heights. Thank you very much. Lee Anderson saying good night, everyone.